I've been playing fighting games my whole life, and when Street Fighter 4 came out, I kind of went all in on that game. Now, I've played a variety of games since then, but I always stuck with the Street Fighter franchise. So when a new game comes out, I try it out, but like most people, I rarely stick around for it. DNF Duel came out a few days ago, and if you're a Street Fighter player like me, you're probably wondering if it's worth your time. So I wanted to give my thoughts on it, good and bad. Spoiler alert, it's a lot of things I don't like about the game, but it's a really pretty game. Now, I didn't take part in the beta, and I've been playing for a few days, but these are my fresh first impressions. I want to first go over the good. The game is gorgeous. It's well animated, the colors are vibrant, the cast is varied and showing so much personality. This is what I expect from a game coming out in 2022. I didn't play DFO, so I don't know any of the lore or anything about the game. But what I do like is that the characters are based upon the classes in the game. And I think they did a great job translating MMO classes and jobs over to fighting game archetypes. This makes you think what a developer could do with a game like, say, Final Fantasy XIV? Huh? Let's take a character like Enchantress. It's a pet class, so you're thinking Carl from BlazBlue or Bedman from Guilty Gear. Then you have long-range specialists like Launcher, kind of like a Dhalsim, or even a zoning character like Guile. Personally, I've been playing Swiftmaster, and this character is good at, well, everything. But what Swiftmaster is supposed to be is quick, tricksy, kind of setting traps, and that tends to be the playstyle that I like. They are a master at being swift. And then you have Grappler, who, I can't believe I'm gonna spill the beans on this. He's a grappler. I get a Broly from Dragon Ball FighterZ vibe from him, and, you know, he's a grappler, and I hate grapplers. So I hate Grappler. So the gameplay is like an anime fighter mixed with a little bit of Street Fighter rule set. I guess would be the best way to say it. It feels like an anime fighter, but you can't double jump, you can't air dash, and you can't air guard. Based on how it looks and feels, you kind of expect it. And I can't talk about the gameplay without talking about the MP gauge. It's a very interesting take on resources, and I understand what they were trying to go for. MMO's main resource for using skills and spells is, so all of your MP skills or special moves uses MP. Now, what separates this from, say, Street Fighter is that Street Fighter, you get a bar from attacking your opponent, and you use that bar however you'd like. In this game, it kind of works like Street Fighter 6's, what's the name of it? Drive Gauge. Got it. It works like Drive Gauge in the fact that you have a set amount, and if you run out of it, you're exhausted. Unlike Street Fighter 5, for an example, your MP regenerates over time. Your MP pool is also based upon your HP pool, so the lower HP you have, the bigger your pool becomes for MP. If you start the round off with 100 MP, by the time you reach half health, you'll probably go up to like 150 MP, and when you're at a quarter health, you'll probably have a full 200 MP. When you use an MP skill, you're locked out of regenning your MP for a short amount of time. Now, there are two control schemes. There's the simple control scheme, and there's the precise control scheme. Like Street Fighter 6, you can use simple controls or precise controls, but unlike Street Fighter 6, in that game, you have to choose one or the other. In this game, you have options for both of them at the same time. So if you hit the MP skill button and hit back, you get a special move. If you hit forward and the MP skill button, you get a move. So you have back, forward, down, and neutral. When you use any of your special moves, you're locked out for about 3 seconds. Now, if you did the precise input, like quarter circle forward MP skill, you would be locked out for only 2 seconds. So if you're not great at fighting games, you can still get special moves by hitting forward MP. The penalty is that your MP gauge will regenerate slower. I think it's very important to get new players into the fighting game genre, and I think we do a disservice as fighting game aficionados by gatekeeping newer players into coming in. And part of that gatekeeping is by the control scheme. We all have to start somewhere, and I think DNF Duel did an excellent job creating a game where you can do flashy and exciting things with just a button press. I think fighting games in the future should look at something along those lines, and that's why I'm glad to see Street Fighter 6 going in this direction. But I'm going to touch upon that in a little bit. All the characters have some kind of gameplay gimmick, which makes the game fun and varied. Whatever character you pick up, it's like learning a complete new game. And I think that's really cool. Swiftmaster, you manipulate the field by putting your wind orb out. And if you use the ability again, a giant tornado will appear on screen. Or you can suck your opponent in, or you can push them back if need be. Berserker trades his health in for more power, so you have a character that is completely all in. Who will die first, you or Berserker? Kunoichi is a MMO-style ninja who can breathe fire or summon toads that breathe fire or make pillars of fire. There's a lot of fire involved with this character, but she's super fast. I think the only character that has a double jump, and it's just a real big ball to play. So you have all these different archetypes, beautiful animations, and gameplay that's flashy, explosive, and exciting. So what's there not to like? Before we get into that, I invite you to hit the like button. Obviously, you're still here, so you like the video. And if you want to see more content like it, hit the notification bell, and that will tell you when my next video drops. And Thank you. I appreciate all of the support that you guys have been giving me. So remember when I talked about the MP bar scaling with your HP bar? That's the first thing that I cannot stand about this game. Now, let me be clear. I don't have a problem with comeback mechanics. I think comeback mechanics are super important in the landscape of any competitive game in 2022. I know. People don't like ultras in Street Fighter 4. People don't like V-triggers in Street Fighter 5. People don't like anything that you get great strength off of getting attacked. I understand that, but it's necessary to even the playing field and make the players feel good and not like crap when they're getting bulldozed in 2022. That's important. That is just how games are made now. And for the longevity of the game, it's very important to offer comeback mechanics. I am not the person that's going to stay here and say, I hate comeback mechanics, but how this game does comeback mechanics, I hate. So in Street Fighter 5, if you attack your opponent, they build V gauge, and eventually they're going to get a V trigger that gives them big power to come back. The difference is that in Street Fighter 5, you can interact with the V gauge. If you put someone in plus frames, they can opt to use V reversal and burn some of their V gauge, which pushes their V trigger activation further back. You can deny them V gauge by putting them in situations where they do not want to deal with. And every time they use V reversal or V shift, it's a plus for you because you can end the match sooner. And if they do pop V trigger, they're now denied V shift and V reversal. So popping V trigger gives them offensive capabilities, but they deny themselves defensive capabilities. And maybe if you have V-trigger, you want to wait for your opponent to pop their V-trigger so that you have the defensive tools to deal with their V-trigger. Think Oro or Lara or Minot. You have all these ways to interact with the gauge in Street Fighter 5, and in DNF Duel, it's limited because you only get more MP based on where your HP is at that time. And even if you do force somebody to use their MP, they will get their MP back over time. So you can't even cool them off and wait them out. You kind of have to go in because the longer you sit back, the more MP they're going to get. DPs in this game are 80 MP, but remember, you get MP back over time, so you can slowly start to get back another one. You don't have to earn it. You could just block and wait, or do a long combo and your MP will regenerate as you're doing that combo. In Street Fighter 5, you can try to disengage or to lame them out to take away some of their timer. Or if they use some of their V gauge while under V trigger, you know if you get hit, they're going to have less resources to kill you. But in DNF Duel, I'm going to get some of my MP back even if you do disengage. So if I use some of my abilities and I don't kill you, if you disengage, I'll just get back full resources. It feels good offensively, but it feels really bad defensively. I spank them all around and I outplay them. Every situation we're in, I come out on top. Except now, they have low health and now they have a cannon and I don't. And your super moves are one button and it's only available when you're under 25% health. So not only do you have all the MP in the world, not only can you extend your combo since you have all this MP, now you also have a combo ender in your super. The whole round feels like your opponent has V-trigger because that's how the game is. When they're low health, it feels like they suddenly have V-trigger Aga 2, and it's just a lot to deal with on defense. Obviously, the play is get them down to about 40%, make them make a mistake, and then you kill them before they have a chance. I'm just saying, this game feels excellent on offense, feels really bad on defense. That might be me being a Street Fighter player and not an anime fighter player. I'm just saying how it feels. I think it's really important in fighting games to always remember it feels good to be offensive and it feels good to be oppressive. It's also important to recognize how it feels on defense for yourself or the other player, and that's really important for the balance of a fighting game. Yes, there are ways to bait out DPs and you can safe jump them in this game. However, just as a design point of view, it just kind of feels sloppy, I guess would be the best way to say it. And I want to touch upon the simple control schemes. I mentioned earlier that I do like accessibility, and I think that it's important for new players to be eased into games. However, there is no reason not to do simple controls under most situations. If you're in a combo, there's no reason not to do the precise controls because you'll get MP back sooner. So as you're doing your combo, you'll get more MP back. But it's a difference between like 1 second. And I don't think that's a big enough penalty for using the simple controls. I would have liked to have seen some kind of incentivizing to wean yourself off this simple controls and move toward the precise controls. Because I'll be honest, it sucks when I'm cooking and a person mashes DP by holding down and hitting one button. Yes, I understand it's up to me to bait that out, but again, it just feels bad. They get to have the same power as me, but press one button. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The same thing goes for supers. Some games, it's at least 1/4 circle forward. Some games require 2. In this game, it's just 1 button. So think about this. You cook someone the whole game, they start to mount a comeback, they do a really long damaging combos by using simple controls and end it with a super that they press with 1 button. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it kind of feels scrubby. I don't want to be a gatekeeper or an elitist, but I just feel that it's always best to move someone off the simple stuff and move them onto the difficult stuff. It feels like Street Fighter V having V-Trigger on all the time, and the inputs are simpler. And a small thing, when you're doing the trials, as far as I know, I don't think that there is a way to turn off the simple input display and show the precise inputs. I would like to practice combos in the trials by using the precise inputs. I don't think there's a way to do it. Guilty Gear has this really cool setting where you can actually pick a button or special move to use on reversal so you can practice things in the lab. I think every fighting game going forward should have this instead of having to record what you want to do. It's a quality of life that I wish that they would just give you. Just give me a drop down and let me pick a button or a special. The number one thing I have a problem with in DNF Duel is the Matchmaker bug. I don't even know how this happens, but it is so frustrating. This needs to be patched today. This needs to get fixed right now. If you want to play online, you can put yourself into Matchmaker and then go into the training room or the trials, and you'll be notified when a match has been found. Now, there isn't a sound that goes off when a match is found, like Street Fighter V, get ready for a new battle. So that's kind of annoying. They should just add a sound to show that a match has been found. But sometimes a match is found and your whole game will freeze. So there are times when a match is found and you just want to end your combo, or there's one more thing that you just want to practice before you accept the match. Except in this game, sometimes it just freezes. So you're in the middle of a combo, a match shows up, and then your whole game will freeze, and then the match will just go away. And this isn't a freeze for like 2 seconds. There are times when it's like 10 to 15 seconds where the whole game will just stop. How does this happen? This is egregious. I've never seen anything like this in a fighting game. Now, is it like your game will crash or the disc will eject? Of course not. But what's frustrating about it is that over time, it just keeps happening. It's just time lost, and it's just annoying. They had a beta and this launch, and this should have been like #1 top priority, all hands on deck. We need to get this fixed right now kind of thing. And I don't know if it will be. This might sound like a small thing, but over a span of like 3 to 4 hours, it's like 7 minutes lost of my game just locked. And you would think you would be used to it, but every time it happened, this is so annoying. DNF Duel is a fun game, and I'm having a lot of fun playing Swiftmaster. There's just so much layers to this character that I'm having a lot of fun diving into it. But I don't know if it's a game I'm going to be playing for the long haul because, again, the game feels great on offense, but it feels really bad on defense. So it feels good to dunk on players, but it feels horrible to be dunked on. This game might be for you. If you're into games that are highly oppressive and aggressive, then hell yeah, this game is great. But for me, sometimes I feel like I gotta hold offense that I don't think the opponent earned. But I will be trying to look for opportunities to do more videos for DNF. So if you like this video and you want to see more, comment below and tell me what you liked about it, or what would you want to see from me in the future for DNF Duel. If you want to watch me play DNF Duel, I stream Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard on Twitch. And on this channel, I do cover more Street Fighter than anything else. And I've been talking a lot about Street Fighter 6, and there's a video right here if you guys want to watch about Street Fighter 6. And hopefully, I'll see you over there. Have a good one.